My name's Travis Miller.
Richard Rex.
Jay Speaks.
And we're here with
Laura Ketchum
from the Piedmont Band. Now, you're the head director for the Piedmont. Right?
That is correct.
Great. Well, what's your show about this year?
It's entitled Lost Generation, and it's based on a palindrome poem by an American artist or American poet, Jonathan Reed. Basically, the poem reads very negative as you read down the page, and then when you turn it around and read backwards, essentially, it has a flipped meaning. So it goes from being negative, my generation doesn't care about this earth, to we care about this earth, and I refuse to believe I'm part of a lost generation. So it ends positive.
That's good. We were just watching your show, and it looked very good. We absolutely loved it, and we saw you at the Yukon Invitational last week?
Yes.
And we absolutely loved it. So
musical selections. What pieces of music are you guys playing this year?
Well, it actually starts with Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yep, and Mr. King, our assistant director, he arranged that for us. There's two pieces actually by Key Poulin. We purchased those. The melody is Simple Gifts. So we kind of piecemealed a bunch of different stuff. We took some music we already owned. We took some stuff that we arranged. We took some stuff that we bought and put together to fit the theme of the show. So marching band is pretty cool because you basically get your idea and then you have to find stuff that fits that idea. So
how does your visuals fit with the music?
Oh, well, the first half of the show when it's negative, we're trying to show being apathetic. So the kids are doing a lot of gesturing, The guard is in dark uniform. And then when we flip the poem, and it becomes positive, the guard actually releases part of their uniform, and it shows a much brighter color. We have prettier silks, and then the posture of the whole band is more positive. The music also goes from minor to major, so cool. Sonically and visually we're reflecting that change.
Well, are you guys having any big competitions for us this season?
This is the last one until OBA state finals for us. So we have 2 weeks off, and then OBA states, and then we're going to go to OSSAA the Tuesday after states.
Cool.
So.
And you guys are feeling pretty good about OBA?
Yeah. We've got some more drill to learn, but we're really close to being done. You saw us kind of stop at a certain spot and play till the end, and we actually have much more learned. We just weren't ready to put it all together for today, we played it safe.
Yeah, that's what we do. Well, what are your personal goals for do you guys have any goals? Placements,
right. It's never for me, the trophies are the kids. So it's I'm looking at improvement, not how much hardware we take home with us. So our goal is always to improve every week, every time we do our show. Everybody should have a better run of it each time. So that's always my goal. And we're working at Piedmont on making more of a kind of a big picture program, not just focus on marching band, but also really trying to push the chamber music. We really want to see a lot of coda entries and all-state, hopefully some all-state kids this year. So we're working with private lesson coaches and trying to get a more well-rounded musician. But they're working really hard and responding well. It's only my second year at Piedmont, so we're still kind of learning.
Did you teach anywhere else before?
I did. I taught for 9 years in Michigan.
Oh, very cool.
So I moved to Oklahoma last year.
With this new set of band kids, how are you guys getting along? Are you going well in Lost rehearsal?
Oh, yeah. We rehearse 4 times a week before school, and then 1 afternoon a week after school, and our drumline and guard do an extra rehearsal on top of that. The kids are just dedicated. We have very little issue with attendance. Everybody shows up with a good attitude. The occasional forgotten dot card or broken instrument slows us down, and that's typical everywhere. I taught, like I said, 9 years in Michigan, and it's the same. Kids are kids. They work hard and good attitude, and I firmly believe every student I work with is a good person. They just sometimes need help with making good decisions all the time. So that's what marching band is so great. It helps instill those things, that discipline.
Yeah, what are some of the things you've learned from this new group of kids?
Well, I learned that I have a really strong Michigan accent, and I did not know that until I moved here. And they were like, "What are you saying?" So that's been fun.
Some directors are I learned how to be tolerant with my kids. I learned how I'm from Michigan.
I learned that they make fun of me a lot. No, I've learned that they are extremely hardworking. They're very quiet in rehearsal, and I think that's really nice. Not every program has that instilled. If you've been able to go and watch groups, see there's a wide variety of what directors are comfortable with, and so it was nice to walk into a program where everybody was extremely focused and united towards that goal of having a productive rehearsal. We also I've noticed that the students at Piedmont are extremely polite. So there's lots of yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That was a fun revelation. I was like, ooh, yeah.
I feel it.
No, and that's something. They had great leadership before I showed up, and so we're just building off that and trying to steadily improve.
That's always good. Okay, every band director has their moment of band director wisdom moment where they just say something like really clever and good.
Oh, yes, our
It's
analogies. You mean?
just one thing to say to any band kid, parent, anyone ever, your band and one of your kids, one of our kids, one of someone on the other side of Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
anyone in general. What was your little piece of advice about anything?
I actually put it in our handbook every year. It's my little mantra. There is no such thing as hard music, only music that needs more practice. So when you're looking at that all-state audition music or your new show music or sight reading for wind ensemble, whatever, it can be very daunting at first, but really it's not hard. It's just you're unfamiliar. So going from the unknown to the known, that's the process of teaching and learning, and that's what makes it so fun. So a lot of kids get turned off when they see a new piece of music, and really it should be a challenge, like you're just ready to dig in. So
we need to have everyone in our band listen to this
Yes,
podcast.
That's a very, very,
Very something that everyone needs to listen to.
That helps a lot. Well, thank you, Ms. Ketchum.
No
for
problem.
being
Thank
here
you.
today.
I appreciate
was
it.
Very cool. And this has been Travis Miller.
Richard Rex.
Jay Speaks.
and Laura Ketchum, thank you for hosting.
Thank
Of
you,
course,
guys.
thank you. Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
Richard Rex.
Travis Miller.
And Adam Uorder.
And we're here talking with Adam Uorder today.
Oh.
Who's the sophomore high school band director. So how's your season going?
It's going okay. In terms of our kids and their work ethic, they're doing a pretty good job. In terms of our show design, it is definitely a work in progress. But overall, I think it's been a pretty good year.
Well, we watched, you guys didn't, but I watched their show earlier, and I absolutely loved it.
Cool.
Absolutely loved all the things with it.
very good.
Are you guys, I think you were telling me earlier that you guys have still a lot to left.
Yeah, we have the final production to put on, and basically, if you notice our show, which kind of is different this year, we don't really have a true ballad. A lot of shows they have that kind of middle section where you slow down. Our show, we thought in the design, we're probably going to have to, since this angry Red Queen, it's just going to have to take off, and so finally we have this. We ended the day with the off with her head moment. We'll slow back down, kind of a little semi-ballad, and we're going to coronate her. So it's going to end with the coronation of the Red Queen. It's kind of how
cool.
that'll
Really
end.
cool.
Yeah. So hopefully it's as cool as you all think it is.
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely
the
loved
judges
what
end
I
up thinking
saw
that. But that's kind of where the show is headed from here.
That's great.
So, what is the name of your show? Actually?
It's called The Red Queen, and it's after the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. So it's pre-Alice, per se, so we're just taking a little journey of her going angry. I mean, basically going mad and ending in becoming the queen at the end. It's kind of the premise of the show.
What are your musical selections for the show this year?
We have some Mozart in there. We have Mad World, which is the enduring theme that goes throughout. Those are the two primary ones. There's little splashes of Elsa's Processional that's in there, kind of intermixed, which is just kind of but those are the main ones that we have, the main production numbers.
What's your main goal for this? Not as in a place.
Not a competitive.
Yeah.
We had a show last year that was real emotional. And we really thought we had to take a complete left turn from that. Last year they did really well, but we needed to kind of expand our horizons. So I think this show, where we had this emotional one last year, is more of an intense show. But it also allows the kids to learn better marching technique, because our drill rider, it's kind of like y'all's drill rider, Mitch Rogers for Mustang. Richard Henshaw is kind of the same cloth, and it's kind of like y'all's drill. It's these really complex, and so it's most definitely challenging the kids, but also exposing them when it's not where it's supposed to be. And I think that's really the wall that we're on right now. We got to get those kids to push beyond that and understand their visual responsibilities. So I think it's pushing their abilities, which is really what we really want to do this year.
So, how does the visuals tie in with the music?
Well, you have basically, let's take all of our music is aggressive in nature. So the drill itself, then, basically when we kick off to the tempo change, doesn't stop off of 180. So what you're seeing there in seeing in the music and watching the visual, you're seeing this continual movement and motion, which sometimes slows down. That's a real, simple way to put it, but essentially, you see fast movement, you see fast music. We ended our production tonight with Off to Their Head, where we pushed all the kids forward. We will eventually turn that into a big moment where they all hit the ground, and there's we see a visual representation of it Off with Their Head from the Red Queen to a person in the band. So that I think that'll be kind of the moment where it's all going towards. From there, it kind of relaxes to the end. So it's kind of the idea.
I mean, your show this year, comparing to last year's show was just phenomenal in that it really did a wonderful interpretation of what we as a state went through, but really what you guys went through, because everyone knows that Moore was hit the hardest on that.
Yes, and that was the point. We knew that if we touched anything close to an emotional concept, that would not be best in the development of our program. Yeah. So we knew we had to turn hard away from that show. Plus, when you have I'll get into this. When you have a really good year, real magical year, that next year's tough. And I think that our kids right now are right at, it's kind of mid-season. This is when people get emotional. They're tired of seeing each other, getting up 7 a.m.
Oh yeah,
So we're right at that point where we're going to see what these kids are made of. Are they going to push through this, or are they going to kind of stay where they're at? And I don't know. It'll be obviously I'm the director. We're going to push them as hard as we can. Yeah. But we certainly hope those kids respond. I think they will. We have usually been a late blooming band, except for the year before, just because we start in 7th grade. There's a lot of different factors that have to do with that, and it seems to be they're better at the end of the year. I hope we are, and so that we'll see how that goes.
Well, that's great.
Every band director has their own philosophy, magic moment where it opens the mind of everyone. Do you have anything to say to any, band kid, other band director, whether it's one of your kids, us, or even someone on the other side of the state that might be listening to this?
Oh, sure.
This piece of advice.
You've probably heard that this is about the journey, and these days that we have today are markers on that. But you won't remember these near as much as the journey there, and so I like to call band AP Life Class. And it really is, because you're learning not to work just with people, but a huge variety of people. Not to take anything away from sports, and I don't mean it this way. Sometimes those are the same type of people. Where here you have a wide diversity of individuals that you have to learn to work with, and that journey is going to last your whole life. You're going to remember how that you came together with people from completely different backgrounds, completely different cloth, and put 200 some kids on the field and move them all in the same direction. And so I think we got to remember it's the journey, and that's what you'll carry for the rest of your life.
Well, just to close it off, are you guys going to any big competitions, venues, concerts this year?
Yeah, we're going to London this year. So we're gonna march in the New Year's parade in London, England, and then also our jazz band will perform, and our wind band will perform while we're over there. So no, this is a big year for us. So we'll leave right after Christmas, and then we'll do the New Year's parade down there. So no, we're real excited about that. I think that's going to be an awesome trip.
Now I'm envious.
Cool. Yeah,
we're going to have to kidnap you.
Sure, sure. Well, we're always recruiting, so if you ever move, just jump on in.
Well, very cool. Thank you, Mr. Mewhorter,
for
a wonderful interview.
Thank you, guys,
definitely.
and congratulations on your program. The Mustang program, just so you guys know, is I look up to as one of the finest in the state. So you all know that you're doing some fantastic things here.
That means a lot.
Sure.
It really does. Well, thank you. And this has been Travis Miller,
Richard Rex,
Jay Speaks,
and Adam Mewhorter.